as we resume action after about an hour lightning delay. Lutcher has the football in the St. James territory. Kate Adams down on the sidelines. Lightning strike right about 11 minutes to go before halftime with Lutcher driving. And so now it's coming up 3rd down and 3 just to kind of get you caught up with everything. St. James had 2 possessions that went into Lutcher red zone, but they only came away with 3 points. And now Lutcher looking to possibly take the lead here in this big rivalry matchup. The handoff given to Storks off the right side. That's enough for the first down. He needed to get to the 10. He got to the 8. It's going to be 1st and goal here for the Bulldogs.
Well, and I tell you what, if you're Lutcher, even though they were about to score before the rain delay, this is not a bad thing because a lot of the St. James crowd has kind of disseminated to their cars and elsewhere in the parking lot, and you don't have a full crowd cheering against you.
Yeah, certainly the atmosphere much different an hour later after that lightning strike. Patterson looking for some running room on the right side, and a host of Wildcats brings him down right at the 5-yard line. There is I thought there was a flag down, but those are just gold shoes out on the field, but maybe there is a flag down. Yeah, there is a flag down.
Yeah, you could see there from those pictures of the stand that this crowd is 3/4 empty, yeah. But you'll see how many of them come back. Here's Patterson on the keeper. And as Jeff was mentioning, Lutcher has survived a lot in this early contest, only be down 3-0, and here's an opportunity to actually go up.
Half the distance to go, still 1st down.
Personal foul penalty was called against St. James, so 1st and goal here. Lutcher has a chance to take a lead. St. James, undefeated, #1 ranked team in Class 3A. Squandered a couple of opportunities early. Lutcher trying to cash in. Bad snap, ball on the ground, but the Bulldogs recover it. Nearly getting in there and getting a fumble recovery was Tyler Steeb, but Storks got his hands on it, but it's a loss of 8.
Well, and if you were watching before the rain delay, you saw St. James do this about 6 or 7 times, and now right from around the same area where St. James was driving in the first quarter, and now Lutcher have a little trouble handling the wet ball there.
2nd and goal now from the 10-yard line. As you take a look at Storks at 453 yards rushing coming into the game. He's ran the ball hard here in the first half. Patterson steps up. He's got some room to run here. He's to the 5, looks for that pylon. Did he get in? Touchdown, Bulldogs. Well, and Lutcher takes the lead.
And this is what Patterson can do for you. When the play breaks down, he's an extremely gifted runner. He's got speed. You're talking 4.5, maybe 4.4 speed. And watch him. He didn't have the edge, but watch him get to the edge and beat him around the corner. He tucks it, and you can see right there the defender had the edge, and he's able to make the turn on him and get into the end zone. Big play by Patterson. Lutcher's up in the football game now.
4th touchdown run of the season for Patterson. Now Logan Bourgeois, a soccer player, one of the best soccer players that Lutcher has to offer, is handling extra points, and that kick was blocked. The holder had a hard time trying to get that ball down, Rhett Whitney. So our score is 6-3 with just over 8 minutes to go before halftime.
Well, in a game like this, your towel boy has to be like the MVP. You got to make sure that you're getting drive footballs out on the field, particularly on special teams plays when you got to go long snap or deep snap. You got to make sure you have a drive football so that kind of stuff doesn't happen.
Brad Baptiste blocked that with his leg. You don't see that too often, Jason, but that's how bad the snap was, and it took that much time for Whitney to get the snap down. Game time on your view. Thanks Louisiana Lift for their support of this telecast, specializing in customer service on equipment, rentals, parts, and training. Louisiana Lift has been serving customers since 1980. You can check them out online at lalift.com or call their Baton Rouge office, 753-5700, or contact the New Orleans area office, 504-463-3400. Louisiana Lift, they're always on call. Last time, Sean Lebeouf had a big return for St. James as Bourgeois high end-over-end kick. And it's going to be returned to about the 31-yard line. And, well, still on his feet is the return man, Quinn Morvan. And Morvan actually got it all the way up to the 35-yard line. So let's see if St. James works some things out here. Offensively, they had great field position twice, starting drives in the Lutcher territory, but failed to score both times. And right now, Dwayne Jenkins and the Lutcher Bulldogs feeling really good about where they're at as you look at the ITI Technical College scoring drive.
Yeah, one of the things I'm looking for is, can Shaz Preston get back on the field? During the rain delay, I saw them working on him. I still see him on the sideline and trying to get himself healthy and seeing if he can get back in the game, but that would be a big blow to this St. James offense if number 7, Shaz Preston, can't get back in.
Yeah, he went down in a heap next to the Lutcher sidelines before the lightning delay. Nice run here from Shamar Smith as he got it to the 42-yard line. Second down and about 4 from the 42. Smith has been playing on the St. James varsity level since the 9th grade, a senior now. Southern Miss, La Tech, Colorado State, some of the schools taking a look at him. No one open, he'll just have to run it. He gets popped hard, and boy, did he go down quickly right next to the first down marker, and we might have a targeting penalty here possibly.
Yeah, I think Bowser hit him high.
Let's go down to Kate Adams here. She's got an update on Shaz Preston. Kate?
Thanks, Jeff. Actually just talked to Shaz himself, asked him what was wrong. Basically, on his right thigh, he has a bruise because earlier before the rain delay, someone had their left leg right into him, bruising that right thigh. What they did was just add a little bit of padding under his shorts just to make sure so it doesn't bruise anymore. Back to you guys.
15-yard penalty. Thanks a lot for the update, Kate. And that's going to move the football now into St. Lutcher territory, I should say. As there you take a look at the talented sophomore wide receiver trying to see if he can't get back into this game, but a somewhat encouraging report from Kate. 1st and 10 at the 39 for the Wildcats after the 15-yard penalty.
Jeff, when you can, go to spare. Go to spare.
They're going to run the ball with Lebeouf. Lebeouf got a nice block, and he made a nice cut, and he's got a first down. Ball comes out, and the Bulldogs have it on the big turnover, and Lutcher takes advantage of another opportunity. Coming away with the football was Trey Stewart. There was a big hit on Lebeouf, and it results in a huge turnover.
Well, Lebeouf did everything right on this play. What an awesome run. Just didn't hold on to the football at the end of it, but you could see the cuts there in the open field, brings the contact, but at the end of the day, got to hold on to that football. I know it's wet out there, but when you have that kind of run, you're driving your team. Most important thing is retain possession.
So now the Bulldogs take over at their own 22-yard line, and they'll throw it. But not much running room at all here for Chris Burkhalter, and the Wildcats shove him back. Bunch of St. James defenders there.
Well, St. James thus far in this game has really just shot themselves in the foot offensively. We saw this play earlier in the first quarter with Burkhalter where he had a big explosive run, knocking off tacklers and breaking tackles. This time, St. James reads it adequately and defends it well and is able to wrap Burkhalter up.
2nd down and 13. Patterson looking over the defense. 4 wide receivers in this set. 3 down linemen for St. James. Patterson zips one over the middle into double coverage, and it's behind the intended receiver. As they were trying to get the ball to Rashawn Williams, who's got 15 catches, a 3-year starter for Lutcher. 3rd down and long coming up for the Bulldogs.
Well, this would have been a difficult throw. You'll see right here, a very small window to get that into Williams, and it would have had to been a perfect throw and just airmails it a bit. And if you're going to miss on a throw like that, that was a good miss, because if you had missed anywhere else, it could have been intercepted.
Lutcher needs to get to the 32-yard line on this 3rd down and long as they're up 6-3 midway in the 2nd quarter after an hour lightning delay. Patterson winds up, has a man, and he beats the St. James defense, but it's incomplete. Dwayne Whitfield had a comeback for the ball, had a pause there. He had 2 steps on a couple of defenders, but the ball was underthrown, and that allowed St. James to recover defensively.
He sure did. He had Winfield right there. And this was bang, bang. I want to see this again to see if the defender got there just a little early, but that was brilliantly timed. And you just talk about bang, bang. A lot of times when the defender has his head turned, you will see here that Baptiste doesn't get his head around. A little contact there after the fact. Almost got a late hit there on Patterson, but they didn't call it.
Patterson, the punter, standing at his own 5-yard line. And they got him. They hit him that time, but no flag. And the ball takes a Lutcher bounce, and it'll be down at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, that's either a good home call there, or they're like, well, look, you're a quarterback. You're used to getting hit. We're not giving you that.
36-yard punt. That's at least running into the punter.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't hit the punter and knock him to the ground.
Well, and you know I'm going to take up for my guys now.
I mean, this is not an acting job by Patterson. I mean, this is...
No, that's well after he hit it, too.
How does that not get called?
Well, where are you playing, Jeff?
All right. Anyway, St. James has the football at the 45-yard line. They got to get something going here offensively. They've been just not crisp offensively after scoring 35 points last week. Lebeouf to about the 48-yard line.
Well,
49.
This shows you the confidence that Valdez has in his key running back, Sean Lebeouf. His dad is actually the running backs coach, Elmo Lebeouf, who's a member of the St. James staff. They were out in the Ascension area and moved to the St. James area, and that's how he became a part of this team, both dad and son.
23 yards on 6 carries for Lebeouf. He's averaging 6 yards a carry on the season. Gets another attempt here.
That's a face mask.
And no call, and it's a first down, though, for the Wildcats as Lebeouf, who worked on getting faster in the offseason, and it's paid off. He's really
Let's see if there's a face mask on this. It looked like his head turned. That's normally how you determine if it's a face mask, and yeah, that's a... All right, we'll call it even. We missed the block punt. I mean, they run it into the punter, and now we missed a face mask.
St. James back in Lutcher territory. Patterson, not much room to run. Flag flies there. This might be a holding penalty, as Shamar Smith picked up 5 yards.
And I tell you what, this Lutcher defense is doing a very good job playing contain on Shamar Smith. They do not want him to get going as a runner.
That is a holding penalty.
But you can see they're spying on him. They're kind of in a contained rush. We've seen Zach Dewey make some good open field tackles on Shamar Smith, but you can see here, they're waiting for him. You see there's Dewey again. They are accounting for Shamar Smith as a runner, but that's Lebeouf there carrying that time.
First down now and a long way to go. First down and 21, back into St. James territory at the 45-yard line. Smith, with only 3 men rushing, has all day to throw. Directing traffic. Finally gets a receiver who breaks a couple of tackles and a nice run after the catch. That was Caden Williams, a freshman. Gets it very close to the first down marker. There is a Lutcher defender down on the ground in front of the St. James sidelines. 19 yards, brings up second and short when we resume play.
Well, you don't see a lot of pass rush here. Again, I think the idea is to contain Shamar Smith. That's why you don't see many running lanes, and he has time to throw the football. And that time he's able to just drop it down there to Williams. Williams does a good job breaking tackles there in the open field.
Brett Whitney finally wrestled him down to the ground, but right now the concern is with the Lutcher player who collided with another defender trying to tackle Williams. And he is in a lot of pain.
Yeah, he's great. That doesn't look good. He is, you can tell.
Well, be sure to join us again next Friday as we bring you another exciting matchup here on Game Time, Game of the Week. We go to New Orleans, De La Salle, the Cavaliers, as we have a interstate matchup. West Florida Jaguars will make the trip from Pensacola to the Big Easy to take on the Cavaliers. Join us at 7 o'clock here on YourView and YourView.com. Still on the ground is the injured Lutcher defender. I've not been able to get a jersey number on him. It looks like to be Ivan Clark, who has been really big defensively for Lutcher tonight. He's made some big hits. He's been making tackles all over the field. This is a big loss for the Bulldogs defense, which has been playing well here tonight.
See some of the Lutcher faithful over there.
Rain-soaked fans. We had a overcapacity crowd here before the lightning hits. Let's take a break, and we'll come back from St. James High School, where the Wildcats are trailing the Lutcher Bulldogs 6-3 on Game Time.
Hey guys, I'm Aaron Kelly, physical therapist assistant for Peak Performance Physical Therapy, and I'm in our Denham Springs location. I want to talk to you about muscle cramps. We see a lot of muscle cramps here on Friday nights at sporting events, but you also deal with those around your home. A muscle cramp is a sudden involuntary contraction. Now we know that muscles contract and relax, so when you feel pain in a muscle from a cramp, it's due to that muscle being locked in a shortened position. A lot of times dehydration is a major cause for muscle cramps. So what we ask of you, a lot of people try the day of to replenish their body with fluids. If you start a couple of days earlier with some salty foods, other things, not just through the water you drink or the sports drinks, but also through the diet that you take in. So it's important to establish a healthy diet with fruits and vegetables and things like that. If you are suffering from these cramps, please feel free to reach out to us at Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Not a good look here for the senior Ivan Clark. The Lutcher Bulldog unable to put any weight on his legs. Coach Dwayne Jenkins said that he's been playing his best football of his Lutcher career here recently, and he's had a whale of a game up until this moment.
Yeah, I never like to see that, and he's made some really good plays, some key tackles in this game already. Let's hope that's nothing too serious.
Well, after the 19-yard pass play, St. James now looking at 2nd down and 2, trying to overcome a holding penalty as they have the football at the Lutcher 36, down by 3. Jeff Palermo, Jason DeQuire, glad he could join us on CST in Yearview. Another ball on the ground. Running straight ahead is Smith, running over defenders, and he has the first down to the 29.
Well, credit Smith this time for at least keeping his concentration again. Got to get that towel boy active, getting those balls dried off and in there for those shotgun snaps. But Smith picks this one up off the ground and is able to get forward and pick up a first down.
Not sure if it's necessarily the wet ball or if it's the wet turf, trying to snap the football off a wet turf where it's a little more slick. And let's face it hasn't been raining here much, so these guys haven't had a chance to really practice it. Smith has 7 carries for 43 yards. He'll look to throw, now he'll look to run. Makes one guy miss, and then is angled out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Another first down here for the Wildcats, and they are back into Lutcher, into the red zone, a 12-yard run for Smith.
And this is what Lutcher does not want to start happening, and Coach Jenkins was concerned about Shamar Smith being able to take over this game with his legs. We've now seen him pick up 2 first downs with his legs, and he can really beat you that way. So they've been good thus far up to this point in containing him, but can't let him get loose.
And the injury to Ivan Clark could already be having an impact here in this game. Lebeouf has got it, and Lebeouf has a chance for the end zone, and he gets there. Sean Lebeouf, his 6th touchdown of the season, and the first time the Wildcats have found the end zone tonight, a 17-yard run.
Well, Sean Lebeouf makes good for that fumble earlier, and I'll tell you what, he is a good-looking back. He's quick in the hole, and then when he sees it, he exploits it. You can see here on the run, just getting to the outside and good vision there. And I tell you what, when Shamar Smith starts getting loose as a running back, then you have to start worrying about number 2. You have to start worrying about number 3 in the backfield, and this offense really begins to open up.
Alec Mauler with the extra point try to get St. James up by 4. And it's through the uprights. So St. James leading Lutcher 10-6, 3:33 to go before halftime as Sean Lebeouf finds his way into the end zone.
Yeah, really good vision here. And I tell you what, once he gets in the open field, he knows what to do with it.
Carter Poche had a chance to make a play there at the line of scrimmage. The sophomore defensive lineman for the Bulldogs, but unable to really get a good grasp on Lebeouf, and he ran in, and Dwayne Jenkins' team is now trailing once again.
Yeah, and really good downfield blocking by the wide receiver on that play. You know, staying with the block, and most importantly, you often see the wide receivers do that and commit a holding call. So there was a good job of staying with the block and not getting your arms outside on the jersey.
We will have a 20-minute halftime, but we will not have the human jukebox performing at halftime anymore. Southern's marching band was here for tonight's ball game. As Sean Lebeouf, as you look at the ITI Technical College scoring drive, and when the lightning struck, Southern went out there, played a song, and then hopped in the bus, and they're getting ready for tomorrow night.
Yeah, they got a home game tomorrow, so you know they're thinking, hey, we still got a good little journey back, and it's already getting late. As you see, a good look there at Sean Lebeouf.
Good strong kick here by Mahler, and he boots it all the way through the end zone. The wind is whipping behind them as some cool air is starting to make its way into the river parishes. This was the band playing, the Southern Marching Band, during the rain.
Oh, you got to give it up. You got to give it up to them for doing that. Hey. This whole crowd was waiting to get to see that, and I tell you what, you got to give it up to them for sticking it out and giving the crowd what they wanted and an opportunity to see this band.
I don't think we'll hear that song in Tiger Stadium tomorrow, as Mekhi Patterson will run the football. So if you want to go hear it, go to A.W. Mumford Stadium. Pick up of 3 or 4 yards, and then after they played, the rain really started coming down here.
But, Jeff, you may hear that song in Tiger Stadium in a couple of years because Southern and LSU will be playing each other, you know, so.
You're quite right. 2nd down and 7.
I don't know if they've decided on the year, but it will happen.
Storts right up the middle for a couple, and he was tackled by Jace Phillip, who's playing both ways right now for St. James. 3rd down.
Big down here.
Yeah, this is a big down.
3rd down, two little coming to the 2-minute sort of warning here, but you know, you don't want to give the ball back to St. James with good field position with 2 minutes left. You can see they're trying to work this clock down in case they don't get the first down. You still got about 15 seconds on the play clock. Want to use as much of that as you can. That way, if you don't get it, hopefully get off a good punt and pin them back.
Lutcher is 1 of 4 on 3rd down. St. James brings the blitz. Patterson goes deep to Winfield. Winfield adjusts on the football. Can't make the grab.
Wow.
Great coverage. Keyshawn Coleman was step for step with Winfield.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if his back was facing us. We'll get a chance to look at it here. It looked like Winfield had an opportunity to get up there and make a play on the ball. Looked like he'd gotten his hands around it, which he does, and oh, there it comes out. That's what we couldn't see. That's a great job by Coleman knocking that ball out of there. That's the way you do it. Get that hand in there, get that football out. That way the receiver doesn't have a chance to catch it. And here's where you got to be careful. So you've played pretty good defense. You're on the road 10-6, and you can't give up one here late in the 2nd quarter.
Patterson's punt is not a good one. Short. And St. James is going to have another possession starting in Lutcher territory.
Yeah, this is.
St. James came into this contest with a 5-0 record. They are ranked number 1 in Class 3A ahead of Sterlington. And then it's Iota, University High, who we'll see in a couple weeks. They'll face Madison Prep. That's our game 2 weeks from tonight on the LSU campus. And you got LaRondre. Sterlington and Union Parish are playing each other tonight.
Big good one.
And Lake Charles Prep really good football team on the 3A level.
Well, what a difference a year makes. You see U-High sitting there at 3-2 when last year nobody in the country could beat them.
From the 46-yard line after the 20-yard punt, Smith and his receiver dropped the ball. That was a forward pass. Wanted to get it to Caden Williams, but he couldn't hang on to it.
I think this is a critical possession of the game here for Lutcher. You know, played good defense, hung in there, survived some scares. And if you can keep St. James out of the end zone and get the ball back after the half, you will have done well here. But you don't want him give them another touchdown here late in the half and increase this lead.
Smith is 2 of 6 for 19 yards. Football is at the 46, second down and 10, just under 2 minutes before halftime. Lutcher bringing some pressure. Smith runs away and then runs out of bounds. Only picks up the yard. As chasing him out of bounds for the Bulldogs was Javen Williams.
Yeah, good job by Javen Williams, not giving up the edge. See him getting over there to get Shamar Smith. You got to keep some eyes on number 3, because if you give him a crease, he will burn you.
3rd and 10 now.
And this may be 2 down for St. James.
St. James is 1 of 4 on 3rd downs. More pressure, trying to set up the screen, and it's intercepted. Threw it right to the defensive back, and he's off to the races. Brought down at the 22-yard line. Huge mistake. And Daquan Bowser, the 3rd interception of the season for Lutcher defensively, a 28-yard return.
I tell you what, this Bowser kid has been impressive. He's been all over the field tonight. We saw him almost make a safety earlier. We've seen him in on plays, and this time just a ball hawk. He knew the play. He knew it was a screen, trying to get it in there to Lebeouf, and just read it perfectly. And I tell you what, once he caught the ball, he looked like a running back on the return. Watch this. He just read it. He was waiting on that pass, and he just read it and looked like a running back making cuts and almost broke a tackle to get in the end zone.
Well, remember that name, Daquan Bowser. He's only a freshman, and he has been really impressive here in this football game. So Lutcher, they are in business with 1:41 before halftime. They'll throw. Oh, what a hit. Going way up there and trying to get it and getting upended was Chris Burkhalter. He's okay, but Mekhi Patterson let him out to dry.
Yeah, that's the ones where you go back to the huddle and you kind of talk to your quarterback and say, hey, man.
Little lower.
Yeah, keep that ball down. You know?
Oh, man. And it's a clean hit by the defensive back, Ja'Cory Esther, who's got 5 interceptions on the season. So now 2nd down and 10. Back to the ground and some running room for Storks. Storks runs over a defender, and he's inside the 5-yard line. Wow. I told you he runs like a bowling ball, and he knocked the pin down that time.
Yeah, and the pin was Tyler Smith, number 4. I tell you what, it just opened up on this counter. And, I mean, it opened up like the sea out there, and Storks took advantage of it. Watch number 4 coming in here thinking he's going to make the tackle.
Flag down, whistle down.
Timeout. St. James. First charge timeout.
St. James wasn't ready. Let's take a look at the run by Storks again.
Watch this hit. The running back deliver the blow right there on Tyler Smith and just stiff-armed him down. And
Tyler Steve is the defender. 8 carries for 60 yards now for Storks. But, yeah, that was a get-off-me move there.
Yeah.
They want him to be consistent, and Storks has been really consistent tonight. This was my feeling about Lutcher coming into the game. They've had some tough losses. Lost by 7 to Amite in week 1. Lost by 2 to St. Charles Catholic. Had 13 penalties in that game. They led Sandoval last week. They had a 15-14 lead. They made some mistakes. Sandoval scores 3 touchdowns on 3 consecutive plays, and the Gators win 39-15. This is a young Lutcher team. I thought this St. James game came at the right time for them. Chance for them to really kind of reset their season and get it going in the right direction for the second half of the year.
Well, and when we were talking to Coach Jenkins, I think he knew he had a solid football team, because you can sometimes tell when Coach is like, we're just down this year. That's not what it was. It was, hey, we have to concentrate more. We have to quit beating ourselves, and we can play solid football.
Patterson will keep it, and he is into the end zone, I believe.
No, he's going to be short.
Just shy. It looked like he got in there. But
No, well, when his back turned to the goal line, he couldn't get the ball over. Otherwise, it would have. But watch here at the end. His back turns to the goal line, and the ball's facing the other way, right here. So the ball never gets in.
very close, but the right call made. Patterson will try again. That time he's in. Touchdown, Bulldogs, as they have regained the lead late in the second quarter. Wow.
That's just a huge stance by Lutcher defensively. You know, it could have been going in 17-6 or at least 13-6 at the half. They make an interception, get down here, and actually put the ball in the end zone. You talk about a 13, 14-point swing.
Say again. Yeah, we're going to stay. Yeah, we can go down to Kate.
Logan Bourgeois on the extra point try. And it's through the uprights. And that makes it 13-10. Let's send it down to the field and Kate Adams.
Thanks, Jeff. Just a quick injury report brought to you by Peak Performance. Ivan Clark, senior linebacker for the Bulldogs. I went over to the sideline to see what was wrong. He has got excruciating pain all in his right leg, can barely even apply any pressure at all. Even a little touch is hurting him. He did have ice on his knee, but he is out for the rest of the game, and they don't have any more details as of right now. Back to you.
Big ice pack underneath the knee.
Yeah, and you can see it looks like some swelling there already, but anytime you got all the pads and jersey off, that's not a good sign, and obviously he won't be available the rest of the night. That's a big blow to the Lutcher defense.
Let's take a look at the touchdown again from Patterson as he gets into the end zone.
Yeah, it's close again in that scrum, and just toughness from Patterson. Not the biggest guy, but strong, and using that low center gravity, get that football over the goal line.
2 turnovers for St. James has resulted in 7 points. That was one of our keys in this game. For Lutcher, the 2 keys for Lutcher: don't allow the mistakes to compound each other and get some turnovers, and they've done exactly that, and they're playing some spirited football on St. James's field. Caden Williams' return is to the 30-yard line. Let's see how St. James may play this with Robert Valdez. He got 43 seconds left. He's turned it over twice in this half. I think you're playing it really safe here with the football at your own 30-yard line.
Yeah, I think they may, you know, a lot of times you'll see, hey, let's see if we can bust that first one on like a draw or a quick screen, although we just saw an interception off a screen. Let's see if we can get some positive yards. And then if we can get this thing around the 45 midfield, we'll open it up and take some shots.
Robert Valdez, a former Southern University offensive lineman. The pass by Smith and the catch and run.
Yeah, you can see
by Williams to the 41. They call timeout, or the clock stops for the chains moving. 12-yard pass play.
And remember, they got a good kicker in Mahler, so they got to get down to at least about the 30-yard line here.
Another catch. This is Lebeouf, a very versatile player out of the backfield. Gets banged out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Trey Stewart on the tackle. Chains move again. Clock stops with 22 seconds left.
Well, Lebeouf is a tough little back. He does not go down on first contact. We've seen him break tackles all night. Was able to spin out of that and get valuable yardage. And now he's got plenty of time here, 22 seconds, to at least get yourself a chance at a field goal.
Another 12-yard pass play. Oh, in and out of the hands of the receiver.
I tell you what, that one had some pepper on it. That was a missile. You watch this. As soon as Williams is able to turn around, that ball is on him.
I see Caden Williams has ditched the gloves, and it still didn't matter. That play only took 3 seconds off the clock, so St. James still has a couple more plays to work with as they have the football in Lutcher territory. Whistle, flag, and it'll back St. James up 5 yards. Really discombobulated first half here
Before
for
the
St.
snaps, false start, number 61, Black. Start penalty, still first down.
Yeah, a little infighting here with this St. James team as well. See the
St. James has pretty much handled all their opponents this season. Their one close game was to Destran. They beat the Wildcats 2 weeks ago, 31-24. They won that game, Jason, despite getting outgained 435 to 254. That's quite an accomplishment. Bunch formation with 17 seconds left to go before halftime. Smith under pressure. Smith is going to go down. Well, at least get pushed out of bounds. A big loss. Great pressure applied. That is the senior defensive lineman, Jamel Thomas, who has gotten better year in and year out and can really be dominant at times. A loss of 8.
Well, now, I mean, really, you may only have one play. Let's see if they elect to try to do some sort of Hail Mary here, or will they play it safe? Really, you got to understand the situation. Not there, get rid of it. When you start running around, and right here, watch, now you're killing valuable seconds off of the clock. And really, I think they're just going to take it in here, play it safe.
And how about this? The Lutcher Bulldogs, if there was a spread in this game, they would have been prohibitive underdogs. But they have come onto St. James's field. They dodged a couple of early bullets when St. James had a chance to score a couple touchdowns, held the Wildcats to just 3 points, and it is Lutcher who goes into the locker room with a 3-point lead. We will hear momentarily from Dwayne Jenkins, the head coach from Lutcher. Kate Adams standing by.
Coach Jenkins, big play by your quarterback with only 1 minute left to go in the half. Just talk about his performance so far tonight, also at punter, and then the rest of your offense.
Well, I just think really our offense is put together some opportunistic drives, but I think defensively we showed up and ready to play. I think the play by Chris Burkhalter to get the interception set up that drive, and I'm just proud of the way our kids are competing, and we just got to keep putting it up for 24 more minutes.
Well, you're exactly right. Your defense has definitely showed up tonight in the way that you definitely needed. Talk about their performance as well.
I just think that we're playing as a unit. One of the things that we talked about this week, we were hit with a lot of adversity over the first 5 games of our season. Don't let those things define you. Start the season over and just come out and play as hard as you can, and we'll finish up the season the best we can, and we just keep fighting to play another play.
Well, this is definitely the time to do it in the district opener, but a lightning delay earlier probably gave you a chance to talk to your team, and now you got another chance. What's your message right now?
Really, we just need to keep our composure and just keep playing every play. We've been in big ball games all year long. We've been in tight games. We've been up at the half. We've been down at the half, and we just got to keep playing and just avoid the avalanche. The thing that St. James has been so good this year is creating turnovers and creating momentum, and we just got to keep the momentum on our side.
Well, thanks so much, Coach, and good luck.
Thank you.
Guys.
20.
Certainly the momentum in Lutcher's favor here in this parish rivalry game. It's been intense. Some big hits in this contest and a lot of emotion as well. 13-10 is our score. Halftime from St. James High School when we come back on Game Time.
Game Time Halftime is brought to you by Podna's Barbecue. Slow cooked, fall off the bone perfection, and the best baked beans in America. Gary Lewis Property. From apartments, condominiums, and townhomes, Gary Lewis Properties is a top provider in Baton Rouge of residential and commercial property for rent. Monogram Express. We make ordinary gifts extraordinary. And by Louisiana Lift. And Louisiana Lift, we're always on call. Check out yourview.com for in-depth high school football coverage.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in better. I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
We're here at Podna's Barbecue, Louisiana's best barbecue. I've got the owner, Gerald Hopper, and you've got mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone ribs.
Well, they're slow cooked, I can tell you that.
Perfect for game day. It's our tailgate spread. Half slab of ribs, 2 halves of chicken, and 2 pints of sides with Texas toast and barbecue sauce, all for $24.85. With fast service, dine-in or take-out, and 2 great locations, Florida at Donmore and Sherwood Forest at I-12.
Hey, Joe Martin here. You've seen our commercials over the years, and you may be wondering, what's in it for me? Well, ITI Technical College has been selected by Forbes magazine as a top 32-year college. But even more than that, the reason we do this is you. Our tagline is for a better life, and we mean that, for you to be able to have the life you've always dreamed about, to do the things for your family you've always dreamed about. And it can begin here, where we are dedicated to your success, because here at ITI, the reason we do it is you.
I spent years suffering from knee pain, so I decided to have replacement surgery. My doctor did a great job, and he allowed me to choose Peak for my PT. I should have done this a long time ago. I'm so glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Tonight's Game Time League standings are brought to you by Visit Baton Rouge. It's not just the capital city, it's the hub of all things Louisiana. Find out more about all the Red Stick has to offer at visitbatonrouge.com.
My name is Haley Gray. I'm an insurance agent at Farm Bureau here in East Baton Rouge Parish, and this is my dog, Duke. I've been with Farm Bureau just over a year now, and a slogan that I use the most is hope for the best, prepare for the worst. And that's what I love the most about my job, is I get to sit down with first-time homeowners or new parents, newlyweds, and sit down and just prepare for the future. You know, life throws crazy uncertainties at us, and I get to be the person to sit down and prepare with people, and that means a lot to me. You know, it's important to have an insurance agent and agency that you feel comfortable with and that you can trust, because you don't use insurance on your good days. You use your insurance on your bad days. When a tree falls on your house or your teenager gets in a fender bender, that's when you use your insurance. So having somebody that you trust and having somebody that's there for you in your time of need, in your darkest hour, that's what we are as Farm Bureau, and that's what real service, real people means to me.
Jeff.
Halftime from St. James High School. The Lutcher Bulldogs leading the Wildcats 13-10. Time to find out who our teacher and scholar of the week are from Lutcher High School. And for that, we send it down to the field and Kate Adams.
Okay, well, I don't have the actual teacher of the week or the scholar of the week. I've got people accepting on behalf of them here with me right now. I've got Danielle Mathern accepting for Craig Zuring of Lutcher Bulldogs for the teacher of the week, and then over here, this is actually Colton Pochet's family that's going to be accepting for the scholar of the week on his behalf. He's actually the center for the Lutcher Bulldogs. I'm going to start with you, Danielle. You told me that Craig was your teacher previously, so how much does it mean to you to be able to accept this award?
It means a whole lot to me that he taught me. One of the reasons I became a math teacher at Lutcher High School, and now I'm one of his co-workers, so it truly means a lot to me.
Well, I'm sure it's really special being able to have that relationship and now get to work together. What are you most impressed with from Craig?
The many, many years of service that he dedicated to Lutcher High School, not only to the math department, but also to the Lutcher High School football team.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations, Craig, our teacher of the week for Lutcher High School. Going to move on over to Colton Pochet's family. All right, I've got the mom, the dad, and the younger sister. Obviously, you guys have got to be very, very proud of your son and your brother. Just talk about his student-athlete accomplishments and emphasis on the word student.
Colton is the epitome of the perfect student-athlete. He tells us student comes first, and he truly, truly believes that. He worked so hard, and his belief system is so strong. I'm so proud of him.
Well, academics are definitely so important. Has Colton decided on any colleges, and if so, what, and also maybe a major?
He's still thinking about it very hard. He's keeping his options open. He's learning all the routines.
He hasn't decided quite yet.
Well, it does take some time to make that decision, so I don't blame him at all. Anything you want to say about your brother?
I'm very proud of him.
Awesome. I'm sure all of you guys are definitely proud of both our teacher of the week and our scholar of the week. So congratulations, and thank you guys for accepting on their behalf. And thank you to Crown Trophies for providing these wonderful plaques. Back to you guys.
Take a break. 10.
We'll take a break. Lutcher leading St. James 13-10. The Yearview, Louisiana Game of the Week. More from St. James High School after this.
When I tore my ACL, I didn't think I'd ever be able to play soccer again. My doctor told me how important physical therapy would be, so I chose Peak. I'm glad I did. Now I'm stronger, faster, better than ever. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
I'm Brett Favre. As a quarterback in the NFL, if I didn't stay focused, I ended up on my back or worse. Even the smallest distraction could make a good play or offensive drive come to an end. When you're in a car, the smallest distraction could end much more than a drive. It could end someone's life. Just like I refuse to lose on the field, I refuse to lose someone I love to distracted driving. And you should too. Focus on the road. Don't drive distracted. A message from Farm Bureau Insurance.
Welcome to Monogram Express, a unique embroidery boutique specializing in personalized and one-of-a-kind gift ideas. Gifts for babies, children, ladies, and even men, we have you covered. Equipped with state-of-the-art embroidery machines along with an experienced client-focused staff serving you 6 days a week. Check out the area's largest selection of letters, designs, and thread colors. We're your one-stop embroidery shop, handling personal, corporate, team, and school logos, and you're welcome to bring in your own items. Conveniently located at 2109 Veterans. Monogram Express makes your ordinary gifts extraordinary.
Hi, we are live with the PPTV network, where one of the top athletes is about to make his important decision. We know his character, and nothing will hold him back.
I'm glad to have my family and friends here for this choice. It's more than my career. It will affect the rest of my life. I choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The decision is in. Why choose Peak?
The reputation and their record of success is unmatched.
When it matters most, another patient chooses Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Exercising is my life, so when I had to stop because of my foot and ankle pain, I was absolutely devastated. I chose Peak and they taught me how to relieve the pain. They really do bring out the athlete in everyone. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Tonight's Game Time Player of the Game is brought to you by ITI Technical College, your key to a better life. Check out the stories behind the games. Visit yourview.com/Louisiana.
2-1, and we're back.
13-10 our score. Lutcher leading St. James. Time now to find out about our Scholar and Teacher of the Week from St. James High School. For that, we go back down to the field and Kate Adams.
Well, I've got Wildcats Teacher of the Week, Cindy Shepard, and then I've got a representative for our Scholar of the Week, Charlotte Martinez. This is First Sergeant also Brooks, her junior ROTC instructor. She actually had to leave a little bit early due to the lightning delay, which is definitely understandable. Going to talk first with you, Cindy. Tell me about what you teach and what's your favorite thing you get to do with your students.
I teach IBCA and BCA, and I love to play games with them to motivate them through earning cat cash and through setting realistic goals. They love to earn the cat cash. They can get prizes, candy, chips on Fridays, so they love to get that.
Well, thank you so much, Cindy. Definitely keeping your students engaged in those realistic situations is so important. So congratulations on your Teacher of the Week.
Also, I would like to say that in 1996, I also received the Cox Communications River Region Chamber Award for Excellence in Education. So I just want to say thank y'all again.
Well, congratulations on both of those things. You are definitely well-deserved for those awards. I'm going to move over to you, the junior ROTC instructor for Charlotte Martinez. Talk about just how she is in the classroom and what are you most impressed with?
One of the most things I'm impressed with Charlotte Martinez is that she's our cadet battalion commander. She's the highest ranking student that's in our JROTC battalion. She has a 32 on her ACT. She's a model student. She leads, motivate, and guide our students as well as a teacher. So she's a pleasure to teach. If we had more students like her, right, I think all the schools throughout the parish, throughout the United States would be great. But she's an outstanding student, and I love working with her. Me and my colonel, Lieutenant Colonel Kolar, she's a blessing to us, and that's what we like to think and like to say.
Well, it is so special for you to be here to accept that for Charlotte. Congratulations to Charlotte, our Scholar Athlete of the Week, as well as Miss Cindy Shepard, the Teacher of the Week, and thank you to Crown Trophies for both of these plaques. Back to you.
10.
Thanks, Kate. Congratulations again to our Scholars and Teachers of the Week. We'll take a break, look at first half highlights, and get you ready for second half action.
Hey, Joe Martin here. You've seen our commercials over the years, and you may be wondering, what's in it for me? Well, ITI Technical College has been selected by Forbes magazine as a top 32-year college. But even more than that, the reason we do this is you. Our tagline is, for a better life. And we mean that, for you to be able to have the life you've always dreamed about, to do the things for your family you've always dreamed about. And it can begin here, where we are dedicated to your success, because here at ITI, the reason we do it is you.
We're here at Podna's Barbecue, Louisiana's best barbecue. I've got the owner, Gerald Hopper, and you've got mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone ribs.
Well, they're slow cooked, I can tell you that.
Perfect for game day. It's our tailgate spread. Half slab of ribs, 2 halves of chicken, and 2 pints of sides with Texas toast and barbecue sauce, all for $24.85. With fast service, dine-in or takeout, and 2 great locations, Florida Donmore and Sherwood Forest at I-12.
We know Governor Edwards.
Whether expanding access to prenatal care,
strongly supporting equal pay,
and fighting human trafficking.
He's appointed more women to serve in his cabinet than any governor before.
when an employee committed sexual harassment,
Governor Edwards demanded his resignation within hours.
Then revised the state's policies
to provide a safer working environment for women.
We know Governor Edwards.
And we know all he's done for women in Louisiana.
I'm Brett Favre. As a quarterback in the NFL, if I didn't stay focused, I ended up on my back or worse. Even the smallest distraction could make a good play or offensive drive come to an end. When you're in a car, the smallest distraction could end much more than a drive. It could end someone's life. Just like I refuse to lose on the field, I refuse to lose someone I love to distracted driving. And you should too. Focus on the road. Don't drive distracted. A message from Farm Bureau Insurance.
2, 1, and we're back.
Let's take a look at our first half highlights with Lutcher leading St. James 13-10. St. James gets on the board early. Field goal there by Alec Fowler, but Lutcher coming right back. Been a nice first half from Mekhi Patterson. Gets into the end zone there. The extra point try, no good as it was blocked. St. James getting back on the scoreboard, a touchdown run from the Navy commit, Sean Lebeouf. Big interception right before halftime. Picked off by Daquan Bowser, and that would set up the score here. Another TD run for Patterson, who now has 5 touchdowns rushing on the year. Not a lot of offense in this football game. 2 turnovers, one of them costing St. James 7 points. But Bulldogs hanging in there despite being outgained 117-83.
Yeah, the real key for Lutcher in this game has been their defense. Their defense has been spectacular. St. James has had a couple trips inside the red zone, and Lutcher able to stop them or only give up 3 points, and that's why we have a close football game here.
And if you're wondering why we're at halftime, we had about an hour weather delay, but everything is clear now, and it's time for St. James to get going offensively. They are down in this football game 13-10. We'll take a break. Second half kickoff coming up right after this on Game Time.
This throbbing neck pain was so bad it moved to my shoulders and was causing severe headaches. Then a friend suggested I choose Peak. 2 weeks later, the pain was completely gone. So glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Hey, Joe Martin here. You've seen our commercials over the years, and you may be wondering, what's in it for me? Well, ITI Technical College has been selected by Forbes magazine as a top 32-year college. But even more than that, the reason we do this is you. Our tagline is for a better life, and we mean that, for you to be able to have the life you've always dreamed about, to do the things for your family you've always dreamed about. And it can begin here, where we are dedicated to your success, because here at ITI, the reason we do it is you.
We're here at Podna's Barbecue, Louisiana's best barbecue. I've got the owner, Gerald Hopper, and you've got mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone ribs.
Well, they're slow cooked, I can tell you that.
Perfect for game day. It's our tailgate spread. Half slab of ribs, 2 halves of chicken, and 2 pints of sides with Texas toast and barbecue sauce, all for $24.85. With fast service, dine-in or takeout, and 2 great locations, Florida Donmore and Sherwood Forest at I-12.
Do you need to say great job, congratulations, or way to go? Crown Trophy on Sherwood Forest Boulevard in Baton Rouge has the trophy, plaque, acrylic, or crystal award you're looking for. Whether it's for your team, business, or church, come to Crown Trophy. We guarantee the highest level of customer service, and there's no charge for rush orders or trophy engraving. We're nationally known and locally owned. Visit us online to view our catalog at www.crowntrophy.com.
My shoulder pain got so bad I couldn't lift anything overhead. So I chose Peak Performance, and I can't believe how much better I am now. Peak really does get you back into the game of life. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Tonight's Game Time Play of the Game is brought to you by Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Ready to serve you with auto insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance, and more. Real service, real people.
We're back.
Some of the nicest people in the world in St. James Parish. Want to thank this man here, Marion Piku, who, because of all the traffic coming into the park, into the stadium, a lot of our crew was not able to get their food in time. So Marion stepped up with some great jambalaya. I'm sorry you didn't get any, Jason.
Man, that looks good. Now, that's what you call like pastalaya. You got jambalaya and you got pastalaya. That's the pastalaya. But I tell you what, down here in Vassar, they know how to cook. That first pot looked like a good deal of red beans going on, and then you kind of mix that with the pastalaya. You got some good stuff, man.
We're set to begin the second half. We're anticipating some good stuff here. A lot of the crowd has thinned out because of the weather delay. After the lightning hit, man, it was a downpour, and I don't think a lot of people were really dressed for a monsoon.
Well, and you know, you weren't sure if you had a football game or an election night party when you walked in here. I mean, all the elections going on tomorrow, people campaigning, and you know, both schools involved with that kind of stuff, and just a big time atmosphere.
Big kick there from Alec Mauler, goes into the end zone. Touchback, and the Lutcher Bulldogs up by 3, take over here. Patterson just 8 carries for 17 yards, 2 touchdowns for Mackay. He got sacked a few times, so that's why the rushing totals are down. But a nice first half from the junior running back, Rasan Storks, the other man we highlighted prior to the start of the game as our key players for Lutcher. Number 23 for the purple and gold, 8 carries and 60 yards in the first half. Again,
well, Mackay Patterson's done just enough, really, to keep this Lutcher team in this football game. He's been steady. He's been calm under pressure. He had the 1 turnover, but really was just trying to throw the ball away.
Storks ran over 1 defender, but not the second one. Greg Rounds, who's got 10 tackles, 4 assists on the season. Makes a big hit on Storks, holds him to just a couple-yard gain.
And I tell you what, Lutcher could not have drawn it up any better. You're able to keep St. James out of the end zone early in the game when this crowd was at its peak, and now a lot of this crowd is gone, a lot of the emotion out of this game. This is a game that you can actually try to win.
Quick pass to Burkhalter. Burkhalter gets tripped up. Only a gain of 2. So 3rd down and 5. As Patterson completes the pass. Again, just 15 yards passing in the first half for Lutcher. They are 1 of 5 on 3rd down.
Yeah, just trying to get it out to Burkhalter in space. He's done a good job with that play, making defenders miss. They've run that a couple times tonight.
Storks to the right of Patterson. To the far sidelines and too high for the intended receiver, Rashawn Williams. And a 3 and out. Good job by St. James defense. They'll get the football, should have decent field position here.
That is just a tough throw to make. It doesn't matter what level it is, from hash to hash. Now, Patterson shows off good arm strength here, but it just, that throw is so long. You're throwing that ball about 35 yards to pick up 5 yards. And when you have to throw it across the field like that, it gives the defender time to close on the football.
Patterson averaging 30 yards a punt. He's only 5'8", and we've seen a couple of high throws from him tonight. Trying to get it over the big offensive and defensive lineman. Shamar Smith standing at his 43 to handle. Oh, bad snap. So guess who's going to run it? Patterson. Can he get the first down? Stays on it. No, he stepped out of bounds at the 28. It'll be St. James football with great field position here.
Wow, another mistake here. These are the mistakes that Coach Jenkins was concerned about. You know, you don't pick up the first down, so you want to punt it and play good defense. Snap, that was a good job just handling the snap. Gets out in the open field. I really thought he had a chance to punt it there if he wanted to, but I guess he thought he might have had a chance to run and pick up the first down, but obviously stepped out of bounds and well short there.
Snapping the football has been an issue for both teams tonight on this slick turf. Great field position for the Wildcats as they begin the second half. They had a couple of drives starting Lutcher territory in the first half. Smith will run it. Smith, they've liked that right side tonight. Big hit afterwards, and now Smith is down, slow to get up. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, he went airborne there on the sideline. Looked like it got him in bounds, but I tell you what, Shamar Smith is now starting to become a real threat running the football. We saw that toward the end of the second half, and yeah, right when he goes airborne, this is when the tackler comes in and clips him. And man, that's a hard land there.
Play has been stopped here momentarily. Looks like we're going to have a new quarterback out there. Logan Gravois will be the quarterback, and Smith will try to put himself back together. First down and 10. This is the third possession, by the way. Only mishandled a snap, and I guess that is par for the course right now tonight for St. James. Every time they get something going, man, the snaps have just been off. Shamar Smith coming back into the game, so Gravois' night as quarterback might be one play, and that's it.
They're moving him out to wide receiver now, keeping him on the field. You don't know, he may have a little razzle-dazzle here.
5 wide receivers here now for St. James, facing second down and 12. What I was about to say was this is the third drive for St. James that has started in Lutcher territory. Smith. Oh, what a crackback block, and there's going to be a penalty. That is the right call. The defender on those blocks has to see the block coming. Back in the day, Jason, when me and you played high school football, you can just level that dude and just continue on with your day.
Yeah, no, they're going to catch Lebeouf here on the crackback, as you mentioned.
This was a rule they put in a couple of years ago. They're actually saying
targeting. They're calling. I didn't see targeting, but oh, I guess he's saying he came up high with his. Normally we think of targeting helmet to helmet, but I think they're going to say he came up high with his arms, his hands, and hit him in the hands with his elbow. Let's see right there. Well, that still doesn't look like a targeting to me.
I just think they don't. Yeah, I don't know if it's
Let's see here. If he went up high to his head. Here it comes right there, too, in your screen.
Well, he's certainly leading with the helmet, but I don't think he really caught him with the helmet. And a Lutcher player, was that the individual who was on the other end of that hit?
Yes, that was the guy on the end.
That was Javen Williams, the junior defensive back. He was on the other end of that hit, and he's woozy heading back to the Lutcher sidelines. 5 penalties for 48 yards for St. James, and that's a big 15-yard penalty. It is second down and 25. I don't think that's right. I think they need second down and 27. They need to get to the 8-yard line. Been a tough night here for Robert Valdez and the Wildcats. Just every time they take a step forward, they take 2 steps back. It's been that kind of night. Lutcher rushes 4. Plenty of time for Smith. He'll run it. Try to pick up some of these yards back. And then runs out of bounds, avoiding any kind of contact.
Yeah, they've got to get down to about the 8 or 9 yard line to pick up a first down here. But the good news for St. James is number 7, Shaz Preston, is back in there at wide receiver. As you take a look at quarterback there, Shamar.
Shamar Smith, just a high football IQ, has freakish skills, 4.4 speed. As you look at Shaz Preston, who's been very quiet tonight, 20 catches coming into the game, but got hurt in the first half and really haven't called his name. Need to get the ball to the 8. They'll just run it again here with Smith. Smith sheds a couple of tacklers and then is dragged to the ground by Rhett Whitney. So
almost like they're playing for the field goal. They got a good field goal kicker. And, playing to tie this game up. Didn't take any risk with the football. It was almost like they were committed to the field goal. on that play call.
Now, Coach Valdez has told us Mahler, he can make them from 35 to 40.
Well, the key here is getting the snap down. We've seen so much trouble on the wet turf with the snap and getting a good snap and good hold.
From the 37. And he gets it through the uprights. Nicely done by the field goal unit. And we're all tied up. 8:51 to go until the fourth quarter. Lutcher and St. James all tied up in this rivalry game.
Hey, Joe Martin here. You've seen our commercials over the years, and you may be wondering, what's in it for me? Well, ITI Technical College has been selected by Forbes magazine as a top 32-year college. But even more than that, the reason we do this is you. Our tagline is for a better life, and we mean that, for you to be able to have the life you've always dreamed about, to do the things for your family you've always dreamed about. And it can begin here, where we are dedicated to your success, because here at ITI, the reason we do it is you.
I'm Brett Favre. As a quarterback in the NFL, if I didn't stay focused, I ended up on my back or worse. Even the smallest distraction could make a good play or offensive drive come to an end. When you're in a car, the smallest distraction could end much more than a drive. It could end someone's life. Just like I refuse to lose on the field, I refuse to lose someone I love to distracted driving. And you should too. Focus on the road. Don't drive distracted. A message from Farm Bureau Insurance.
2, 1, and we're back.
This week on Your View's High School Football Recruiting Podcast, Over the Middle, Adrian Peterson was the #1 recruit in the country in 2004. He also grew up a Texas Longhorn fan. But through some recruiting magic from Bob Stoops, Peterson ended up an Oklahoma Sooner. Jason Kersey of The Athletic will discuss how Adrian Peterson ended up in Oklahoma and more. That's the Over the Middle podcast. Check it out at yourview.com. Oklahoma, Texas, tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. And the college football day, of course, wraps up with LSU versus Southern tomorrow night at Tiger Stadium. Mahler, a strong kick into the end zone.
Wow, showing off his leg.
He's a sophomore, so he's a guy that he looks like he's got potential to me to kick at the next level.
Yeah, he can boot it, man. He can boot it.
13-13 our score, 8:51 to go until the third quarter ends.
Oh, man, I didn't even know the kickers had their own little deal there, man. You got to like that.
ITI Technical College scoring drive.
Now he needs like one of those chains when he kicks it into the end zone. I got to get something too. Oklahoma, Texas, what you liking that, Jeff?
Wouldn't mind seeing Texas win.
Yeah, that'd be good. Help us out.
Patterson throws to the far side. Nice little move by the receiver to move upfield, and then he gets stuffed. Rashawn Williams.
Flag comes in here. Looks like some extracurricular after the play. Normally comes in this late, some kind of personal foul.
Legal block in the back.
Lutcher's kind of fall asleep here lately, going a little lethargic on offense, hadn't been able to move the ball. They were able to piece together a very good first half, take the lead, but they've got to get something going offensively, and this is not going to help.
Dwayne Jenkins' team backed up to their own 12-yard line.
And you got to be careful, you know. He's played, like he's mentioned, he's played well early in games, and then, you know, just kind of beat ourselves. So can't turn the ball over here. See if they can get off a couple crisp plays and pick up a first down.
From the 12-yard line. Patterson winding up and making a nice adjustment on the ball. That's Dwayne Nope, check that. It is not Dwayne Winfield. It's Rashawn Williams. And Rashawn Williams.
Now, I don't know if this was designed, but if not, this is still a great play here by Rashawn Williams. Sometimes you will purposefully underthrow it because it's hard for the defensive back to get back to the football. But Rashawn Williams almost, it was like he knew it was going to be underthrown because he was making his way back to the football before the defensive back even had a chance to turn around. Huge play there.
33 yards, one of the biggest offensive plays of the game. Burkhalter with a blocker ahead of him, but there is a penalty flag on the field.
Let's go, Broad!
Yep, Holding penalty. And Lutcher's had 2 big penalties against him on this drive.
But I tell you what, they've been willing to take some shots down the field. I mean, we have seen them take shots down the field of both Winfield and Williams.
Pushes him back to the 37-yard line. First down and 18. Right up the middle. And they cut down Storks that time. Coming up and making the tackle, Joel Cooper. Talented, skilled player defensively with 5 tackles on the season. You look at Caleb Brown, an all-state player from a season ago. Great athlete. 24 tackles on the season coming into today's game.
Let's go, Caleb.
2nd and 14. We're all tied up at 13. Storks, big hole. Storks first down in the St. James territory. Caleb Brown in on the tackle. Another big offensive play for the Bulldogs, who overcome another penalty. 23-yard run from the junior ball carrier.
Well, really good read by Patterson. It looked like St. James was showing blitz and they backed out of it. And as soon as they backed out of it, Storks, they were able to exploit the gap right there. Big run by Storks. This offense is doing its best when Storks is getting big plays.
Patterson had trouble handling the snap, puts his head down, gets 2 yards.
Well, I cannot recall doing a game where the ball has hit the turf as many times as it has just from the snap. I mean, we've seen it. Here it is again. Ball on the turf right there. And these spread offenses, when that ball hits the turf, everything's disrupted at that point. The timing, everything's off, and typically you just see the quarterback get it and go.
Patterson, a first-year starter at quarterback. Dangerous runner, as we've seen here tonight. Couple of touchdown runs from him. Storks, he's a dangerous runner too, but he's bottled up. Maybe a yard until he's pushed back by that Wildcat defense. DeAndre Keller, 7 tackles on the season, 6'2", 270-pound senior, number 72 in that 3-3 stack defense for St. James. Wildcats allowing 13 points a game. Lutcher's at that point right now, halfway point in the third quarter. Looking at 3rd down and 6, probably 4-down territory though.
Yeah, you would have to think so.
Lutcher just 1 of 6 on 3rd downs. Patterson keeps it. And St. James covers him up. 2-yard pickup.
Yeah, I think playing it conservative there, trying to just keep it in Patterson's hand and see how close we can make this 4th down attempt.
Lutcher came into the game converting on 41% of the 3rd downs, but they have not had much success here tonight. On 4th down coming into this game, just 1 of 9.
Here we go, big 4th down play here, tie football game. See if they can keep this drive alive.
Flags all over the place.
That's going to make it more difficult now.
Well, do you think about punting it, Jason?
No, I'd still go for it at this point. I mean, the problem is you punt it in the end zone from here, and you're really only picking up maybe 10 yards or so, 15 yards.
Some big penalties on this drive. That's the 3rd one.
Defense has played pretty well.
Zach Poche, the wide receiver to the near side. They got 3 to the top of your screen. Rashawn Williams, number 12, is probably the guy they would like to get the football to. And Patterson won't have an opportunity to throw it. He is brought down for a sack to the 40. Chase Geeson on the sack, his 8th of the season, and that fires up this rain-soaked St. James fan base.
Yeah, that's a huge play. And this is, again, Patterson, this is twice tonight that he's just held on to the football too long. I know he's got folks coming at him, but you got to understand the situation. It's 4th down, so you're better off letting that football fly. Even if you throw an interception down there, letting it fly, because if not, you're going to turn the football over on downs, and the last thing you want to do is take a sack.
Loss of 6, so now from the 40-yard line for St. James. Run right up the middle. Lebeouf gets about 7. Hit in the middle of the field by Rhett Whitney, 3-year starter in the defensive secondary.
Well, St. James has been content on pounding the football. I mean, that has been how they have attacked here lately. The ground game really doing most of the damage is Shamar Smith from the quarterback position and Lebeouf from the running back position. That's kind of been the two-headed monster on these last couple of drives.
Lebeouf another carry. Lebeouf a first down up to the 45-yard line. Last year, the Wildcats 6-4. They beat Donaldsonville in the first round of the playoffs and then lost to North Webster 26-23. St. James in the quarterfinals in 2017. In 2016, they lost in the first round. As you look at Robert Valdez, who at West St. John won 5 district championships in 7 seasons. And in 2011, West St. John was the 2A runner-up.
What a
good run by Sean Lebeouf.
Man, what a move in the hole. And really what I think is going on here, obviously St. James wanted to impose their will on the line of scrimmage. They're doing that. But with this three-man down front, they're just picking the gaps. And they're liking their matchups with the offensive line versus the 3-down linemen of Lutcher. And they're just, good vision there by Lebeouf in the hole, but they're getting the blocks they need. And when you got a running back as talented as Lebeouf right there, good things can happen. They're content just smashing it down Lutcher's throat right now.
10 carries, 64 yards for Lebeouf. Smith to his left. Just going to try to run for the first down if he can get there, and he does. Chased out of bounds by Daquan Bowser. Another first down. Wildcats keep moving the chains late in the third quarter. St. James leads the series against Lutcher 22-18-1. Coach Valdez also coached at Scotlandville. His one season there in 2015, they went 10-2. Had Levi Lewis there, Kelvin Joseph.
Yeah.
Young Levi Lewis and young Kelvin Joseph.
I went on to play at Levi's at ULL. And
tough night the other night for the Cajuns against Appalachian State. They just can't beat the Mountaineers. 3-yard run there from Sean Lebeouf.
And where did Kelvin Joseph end up going?
Kentucky.
Kentucky, that's right. Had him here at LSU. And man, still could use him in that secondary. But
he could be playing right now with all the injuries they've had back there.
It's not today's era, nobody wants to wait it out.
2nd down and 7. And now, what do we have here? I thought, was that supposed to be a timeout? Whatever happened, Lebeouf's got the football. And he nearly got a first down. Do you think it was a trick play?
Yeah, I think that was a design. Shamar Smith coming over, acting like he's going to call a timeout. And then you direct snap it to Lebeouf, just trying to, let's see here. Watch this. So he comes over. He's like waving, trying to distract him. Yeah, that's Lebeouf clearly knew that ball was coming, but the problem is hanging on to the football.
Yeah. Still made something out of it. He got a first down.
Probably had a hole there. Probably well designed, just with that ball hitting the ground and just throws everything off, delays it a little bit.
Big drive here for St. James. They've been grinding it, but Jamel Thomas tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Lutcher's defense has been kind of bend, but don't break. And here's another opportunity for them to see if they can at least hold St. James to a field goal. That's what they need to do. 2nd and 10. That was a good stop there on first down. This is now the down that you need to stop them. Try to put them in a 3rd and long situation.
Smith got chopped down by Rhett Whitney.
That was a great tackle there by Dewey. He's done a good job just filling the hole there from the backer position.
St. James has 15 first downs. Lutcher's got 7. And they're looking for 16 right here.
Yeah, here's the pivotal play, because I believe a tie game with the kicker you have, if you stop them here, at least don't make it 4th and short, I think they'll kick the field goal.
12 seconds on the play clock as they're finally getting set. Oh, they run into each other, but it doesn't matter. Smith's got the first down. Smith broke 3 tackles on that play. One of them was his own guy trying to bring him down.
Yeah, that was ugly the way that it started. A little miscommunication there between Lebeouf and Smith. As watch here in the backfield, they really just run into each other. Lebeouf doesn't clear, and Smith runs into him. But just being the athlete that he is, you mentioned freakish athlete, he was definitely that on that play and able to pick up the first down.
St. James now 2 of 8 on 3rd down. 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Smith keeps it, dragging a couple of Bulldogs. Carter Poche was the first guy to get to him, and that will end our 3rd quarter. All tied up in this great rivalry contest between St. James and Lutcher. 2 teams giving it their all here tonight on Yearview, Louisiana.
Here in Louisiana, we play to win every single game. Under John Bell Edwards, our economy ranks dead last in America.
Eddie Risponi will win back lost jobs, reverse the Edwards tax hikes, and blitz trial lawyer control and corruption.
Louisiana shouldn't settle for last place in anything. I'm Eddie Risponi. First is where we belong. It's time to lead the South in football and in jobs.
Eddie Risponi for governor.
Welcome to Monogram Express, a unique embroidery boutique specializing in personalized and one-of-a-kind gift ideas. Gifts for babies, children, ladies, and even men, we have you covered. Equipped with state-of-the-art embroidery machines, along with an experienced client-focused staff serving you 6 days a week. Check out the area's largest selection of letters, designs, and thread colors. We're your one-stop embroidery shop, handling personal, corporate, team, and school logos, and you're welcome to bring in your own items. Conveniently located at 2109 Veterans. Monogram Express makes your ordinary gifts extraordinary.
We've mentioned it a couple times. St. James leads the overall series 22-18-1, but it was the Lutcher Bulldogs that won the game that mattered the most. The 2015 Class 3A state championship game, as they put it on St. James, 41-14. Lutcher was led by John Trey Kirkland, who's now with LSU, and St. James was led by Lowell Narcisse, who's now over at Texas San Antonio after a couple of stops. But the head coach for the St. James Wildcats is now the head coach the head coach for St. James, was Dwayne Jenkins, and he's now, of course, the head coach at Lutcher. Tim Detillier winning a state championship. Lutcher would repeat as state champs the next year. On the first play of the 4th quarter, getting into the end zone is Shamar Smith, and St. James retakes the lead.
Well, that was what you call a big-time drive by St. James. They just ate up most of the 3rd quarter there and really just kept the ball on the ground. I don't believe they went to the air one time on that entire drive, and it was just 3 and 4 yards at a time there. Very patient and really, again, doing the damage with Shamar Smith and Sean Lebeouf.
Another injured Lutcher Bulldog, Marty Riley.
And that's really how you wear a team down and really just eat at them when you know they're going to run the football at you and you can't do anything to stop it. Just 3 and 4 yards. Those are body blows, keeps the defense out there for a long time and wears them down.
This for St. James is the largest lead of the night, 19-13. And the extra point is good. 20-13, Wildcats leading Lutcher. Early 4th quarter. Punishing drive for St. James as they have the lead.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in better. I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
We're here at Podna's Barbecue, Louisiana's best barbecue. I've got the owner, Gerald Hopper, and you've got mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone ribs.
Well, they're slow cooked, I can tell you that.
Perfect for game day. It's our tailgate spread. Half slab of ribs, 2 halves of chicken, and 2 pints of sides with Texas toast and barbecue sauce, all for $24.85. With fast service, dine-in or takeout, and 2 great locations, Florida at Don Moore and Sherwood Forest at I-12.
I'm Brett Favre. As a quarterback in the NFL, if I didn't stay focused, I ended up on my back or worse. Even the smallest distraction could make a good play or offensive drive come to an end. When you're in a car, the smallest distraction could end much more than a drive. It could end someone's life. Just like I refuse to lose on the field, I refuse to lose someone I love to distracted driving. And you should too. Focus on the road. Don't drive distracted. A message from Farm Bureau Insurance.
I spent years suffering from knee pain, so I decided to have replacement surgery. My doctor did a great job, and he allowed me to choose Peak for my PT. I should have done this a long time ago. I'm so glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
We have a penalty on the kickoff after the touchdown drive by St. James. Tony Collins and his crew will figure things out here as there was blocking the back, holding penalty, or face mask penalty.
Well, either one, it's going to set Lutcher back to start this offensive drive, and they really haven't done much in this second half, so let's see if they can get their offense going.
Really good drive there for St. James, their best of the night, taking nearly 5 minutes off the clock. 6 rushes by Lebeouf for 37 yards, 5 rushes for Smith for 23 yards, and of course, he got into the end zone. And we'll see if Lutcher's offense can respond here with Mekhi Patterson. They have done really nothing in the second half. Had a nice little drive there on their last possession, but penalties kept hurting them. Lutcher trying to get back to the 500 mark with a win here, and Storks goes nowhere. He's had a nice night rushing the football, but DeAndre Keller and the Wildcat D, along with Chase Geeson, there on the stop. Maybe 2 yards on that pickup for Storks. He's got 91 yards rushing on 13 carries. Patterson over the middle. Caught. Oh, and then he dropped it.
Wow.
Incomplete. It was right there in the hands of Chris Burkhalter, who just did not look it in.
Well, again, one of the things Coach Jenkins emphasized is you look on paper, you may think Mekhi Patterson's not very accurate, but he is extremely accurate on that throw, and one of the problems they've had, too, this season is drop balls. And I mean, the situation in this game and where your offense is right now, that is a catch you have to have.
Lutcher just 1 of 7 on 3rd downs. Patterson throwing deep, incomplete, nobody there.
Yeah, miscommunication. Thought there was going to be a double move there, and the receiver hitched up. The ball just airmailed. Now you're going to have to punt the football.
A 3-and-out that Lutcher did not need offensively.
No, and it shouldn't have been. That's a big drop by Burkhalter. One, because of the field position you're going to give them. You get that catch and you get a first down, this offense gets going, and that's the frustration Jenkins is showing right now. He knows that drive should not have ended right there. Well-designed play, good thrown football. It just didn't make the catch.
3 of 10 for 48 yards for Patterson with an interception. Patterson to punt it away. Low punt. Going to take a Lutcher bounce, and this is a little break that the Bulldogs certainly needed. We'll take a break. When we come back, St. James will start at their own 42 after a 42-yard punt. 20-13 our score.
Tonight's Game Time Play of the Game is brought to you by Podna's Barbecue. Slow-cooked, fall-off-the-bone perfection. And the best baked beans in America.
They say politics changes people, but don't tell that to John Bell Edwards.
He's led our state through a budget crisis and natural disasters, expanded health care for working people, invested in students and teachers, and grew our economy. Through it all, he served with honesty and integrity, never losing sight of what's important or compromising who he is. He's still John Bell, still one of us.
Tonight's Game Time League standings are brought to you by Visit Baton Rouge. It's not just the capital city, it's the hub of all things Louisiana. Find out more about all the Red Stick has to offer at visitbatonrouge.com.
Game Time on Your View thanks Louisiana Lift for their support of this telecast, specializing in customer service on equipment rentals, parts, and training. Louisiana Lift has been serving customers since 1980. You can check them out online at lalift.com or call their New Orleans area office at area code 504-463-3400. Jeff Palermo, Jason DeQuire, Kate Adams, glad you can be with us on this Friday night. St. James, Lutcher. A lot of the emotion of this game taken out by the lightning delay, but it's still been a fun game to watch. And St. James with another great drive here, Jason, can put this game out of reach possibly. We'll see what happens. They kept it on the ground the last drive for 11 plays, and they start this drive on the ground again.
Yeah, and again, I think Lutcher's going to have to commit more men in the box. I know they're trying to stop this run with the three down linemen and the linebackers playing about at their usual position, but you're going to have to start plugging those gaps. You're going to have to start picking and choosing what gaps you want to cut off there. If not, they're just going to continue to take the 3 and 4 yards, and it's going to be hard to stop them, and they're going to chew this game up.
2nd down and 6. And St. James not in a hurry to run any plays. 11 seconds on the play clock. Lebeouf gets another carry, making some nice moves and showing the strength there. Got it up to the 46. On a 9-yard run.
You're going to, I mean, until Lutcher, this little cat and mouse game, until Lutcher brings more people around the line of scrimmage, St. James is going to continue running the same play, and it's effective. Just picking a gap, getting effective blocks, and moving the chains and really just killing this clock. And if they continue at this pace, like you said, and put more points up, Jeff, that could put the game out of reach. Yeah, they're methodical. They're going to use up all the play clock. But again, you can see the front that they're playing. You see the 3 down linemen, linebackers back there 5 yards, and they're just going to keep eating those gaps up. I mean, that is what they're doing. And as long as they show that defense, St. James is going to continue running the football.
Lebeouf, who has been on this St. James team since his freshman season, a senior, another guy committed to the military academy.
They're consistent, man. We can't break the streak, Jeff.
No, we have had, I think every game we've had somebody committed to one of the military academies, whether Army, Navy, Air Force. 2nd down and 4. We were telling that to Robert Valdez, and he told us Army and Navy, they have figured it out. That there's some good players in Louisiana, and they've been recruiting heavily in this area, and it's shown. Some nice running here from Shamar Smith, who will likely be a wide receiver at the next level. And he ran over a Lutcher defender, and we're starting to feel St. James starting to really enforce their will in this game. A 9-yard carry for the senior QB.
Yeah, this time showing a little different look, kind of a little rollout run play there. But that was just all Shamar Smith, just making something happen, using his athletic ability out in the open field and making players miss.
At the 30, 2 turnovers in this game for St. James's offense. Lutcher would love to force another one right here. Lebeouf for about 4 before Ty Cooper got a hold of him and threw him to the ground.
Yeah, Lutcher is going to have to sell out. I mean, you gotta start forcing Shamar Smith to at least think about throwing the football. I mean, you got to bring some of these linebackers in, bring some of your safeties in, and commit to stopping the run.
Lebeouf, 17 carries now, 100 yards. Second down and 6. Lebeouf again. And still getting 3 or 4 yards before Lutcher's defense can finally get a hold of him and bring him down. Third down coming up here, so this is the chance here for Lutcher maybe to put an end to this drive.
Yeah, and with the 1-score lead here.
Third down and 3. St. James just 2 of 8 on third downs. And they get Lutcher to jump off sides. How about that veteran move by the senior?
And this is the one time Lutcher actually changed their defense. You get a chance to look at it. They bring a lot more people to the line of scrimmage. They were going to sell out on the run. They were going to bring some pressure. But they ended up jumping off sides.
8 penalties for 80 yards. And again, that was our first key in this game for Lutcher. Avoid the avalanche in mistakes. I wouldn't say it's been an avalanche here, but they're piling up. I'll say that. They're coming slowly, but the amount of mistakes are really starting to pile on here and making life difficult for Lutcher in the second half. 5 penalties in the second half. Lebeouf again.
Yeah, they're just...
Man, breaking tackles inside the 10.
I'm very surprised that Lutcher is not changing their defense here and not bringing more people into the box. But as long as they're playing this defense, they're content running the football and taking their chances there, running in these gaps.
Lebeouf has shown a great ability to make some cuts, find the right hole to run through.
No, he's a football player. He's a complete back, and probably Navy just in the school of that size, just because of his size. Not the biggest guy, but I tell you what, he plays a lot bigger than he is at breaking tackles.
2nd and 1, keeping it as Smith. Smith makes a move. Smith drags a tackler, gets to the goal line, and is stopped just short. Seven-yard run for Shamar Smith.
Well, you get that inside running game going, and then guess what? The outside opens up for you, and Shamar Smith just showing you his determination and will, physical ability on that run.
From the 1-yard line, inside the ITI Technical College red zone, a whistle before the snap. Might be on Lutcher. It is. Now Shamar Smith is up to 93 yards rush, and they're going to have 2 ball carriers. Will St. James most likely over 100 yards. Not very far to go here. Quarterback sneak.
It'll be close. Couldn't see it down there in the scrum, but no signal. Didn't look like he got there.
Well, the benefit here for St. James, they're able to run some more clock.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see if we can pick it up. The nose of that football is right there on the goal line. And that's a good play there, just reaching over the top and being able to get the ball carrier before he got any momentum going.
Under 5 minutes to go, 20 seconds on the play clock. Shamar Smith. See if they just try to do the same thing. Need a little bit more push this time. I don't think he got there.
No, I don't think he did either. They're not. No signal. Yeah, there you go.
I do give him the touchdown. If he got there, it was barely across the goal line. And now St. James pulling away from their parish rival. 26-13 the score.
See Shamar Smith there. It's the workhorse tonight. Him and Lebeouf on the offensive side really kept the ball in their hands 90% of the time.
Alec Mahler who's been impressive tonight. Good snap, good hold, and he gets it through. 4:43 left to go. Lutcher will need to mount a massive comeback. This is Game Time on Your View.
When I tore my ACL, I didn't think I'd ever be able to play soccer again. My doctor told me how important physical therapy would be, so I chose Peak. I'm glad I did. Now I'm stronger, faster, better than ever. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Here in Louisiana, we play to win every single game. Under John Bell Edwards, our economy ranks dead last in America.
Eddie Risponi will win back lost jobs, reverse the Edwards tax hikes, and blitz trial lawyer control and corruption.
Louisiana shouldn't settle for last place in anything. I'm Eddie Risponi. First is where we belong. It's time to lead the South in football and in jobs.
Eddie Risponi for governor.
Exercising is my life, so when I had to stop because of my foot and ankle pain, I was absolutely devastated. I chose Peak and they taught me how to relieve the pain. They really do bring out the athlete in everyone. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Tonight's Game Time play of the game is brought to you by Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Ready to serve you with auto insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance, and more. Real service, real people.
27-13, St. James trailed 13-10 at halftime, but they are pulling away now. Up by 2 touchdowns. The ITI Technical College scoring drive. 2 really grueling drives for St. James offense.
Yeah, that's the difference in the game because they were able to eat up clock in both of those drives, smash the football. They didn't really even put it up in the air on either one of those drives. And, you know, they wanted to win the line of scrimmage and be more physical. They've done that here in the second half.
The first drive, well, I'll get to it here in a second. Return from the 3. Rashawn Williams gets up to the 27. Two drives ago was 11 plays, 60 yards, took 4 minutes and 50 seconds off the clock. That drive, 10 plays, 58 yards. Took over 6 minutes off the clock. 21 plays, 118 yards. Milking 11 or nearly 11 minutes off the clock, and all the carries were by either Shamar Smith or Sean Lebeouf.
Number 2 and number 3, Lutcher defense going to see that in their sleep, and that's a whole quarter's worth of time off the clock.
Lutcher will keep it on the ground as they're down by 2 touchdowns with 4:30 left to go.
Well, if they want to get back in this game, they're going to have to play somewhat of a hurry up here. High tempo. They're going to have to take some shots down the field. I mean, if you can punch one in the end zone, you could then try an onside kick and maybe try to tie this game up right at the closing bell here.
Patterson under pressure. Keeping it with the pump fake. See if he can get a couple blocks. Makes another guy miss. What a run by Patterson to get the ball into St. James territory. Football comes out, but he was down. But a great run, 18 yards by Mekhi Patterson.
But I think he ran 60.
You're right about that.
Hey, look, he starts on one side of the field. Really, he had his guy right here on the hitch. He didn't see him to the left. But there he fakes it, breaks a couple tackles, gets out into the open field. You can see getting those legs getting a little tired, but still able to put a couple moves on and puts his team in good field position.
Caleb Brown finally made the tackle. Storks off the right side. Gets spun down to the ground by DeAndre Keller. Gain of 4.
And if you're going to take your shots running, that means you really got to hurry. You got to move. You got to be ready to snap this ball. I don't disagree with running the football, particularly since you know St. James is going to be playing back a little bit. But you got to be in a hurry.
2nd down and 4. Patterson under a lot of pressures. Gets away from it again. How does he keep doing it? Houdini out there. Gets to the 41. 3rd down and 3. That should have been 3rd down and 15. Instead, it's 3rd and 3.
Yeah, you're right. They brought pressure trying to get to him and able to. I thought they were going to have him right there and just able to turn the corner and stay in bounds.
With him getting out of bounds, that at least stopped the clock with just over 3 minutes to go. Now Lutcher has really struggled on third down tonight, 1 of 8. Patterson, quick throw, completes, got a blocker, and it got a little bit more.
Oh, wow.
Big tackle there on Williams. Touchdown saving tackle by Ja'Cory Esther. 12-yard pass play.
Tell you what, Esther doesn't make this thing. Then Rashawn Williams is off and in the end zone. Rashawn Williams had a good night. We saw him catch a big ball earlier in this half.
To the 28, best drive of the second half for Lutcher. Patterson. What will he do here? Throws towards the end zone. Batted around, intercepted. That should be your ball game. And now St. James is on the return. Could he take it to the house? Oh, his own man brought him down. Wow. Brad Batiste saw 6, but he was basically tackled by his own guy. Actually, that's Joel Cooper, number 18, not 16, but a 71-yard return by Joel Cooper.
And Tyler Steib got him right at it. Look, he was slowing down. Actually, he was in the clear, and I know Steib was just trying to get out in front of him. Well, watch the tip drill. Here's what you work on. And you can't fault Patterson. He's just trying to make a play here towards the end of the game. And a good job by 7 coming back to the football. That's Winfield, but the old tip drill. And Cooper able to come down with the football, but watch him get hit right here, too. Just gave up his whole body to throw that ball down the field.
Caleb Brown, nice job.
Watch Steib. He's in the open field and just, man, didn't see his guy on the side of, and he's so tired at that point. Any little nick is going to make him fall down, and just kind of bumped into him. Watch him bump into him just inadvertently right there.
Yeah. 27-13, the Wildcats are ready to become 6-0. Let's go down to Kate Adams. Kate?
Well, obviously a huge interception by Cooper. This is exactly what Coach Valdez wanted to see when I talked to him during halftime. Look, they're also going to bring out a turnover chain. It's one of the things that is keeping these Wildcats motivated all season, and they made sure that this year it's extra bedazzled, basically. So I'm sure we'll see that out here soon. Back to you.
That is one of the more bling-bling turnover chains I've seen.
Turnover chains have grown, man. They used to be just the goal part of it. Now you got all kinds of medallions and stuff.
Look at the eyes on that Wildcat. Run off the left side here for Lebeouf inside the 20. So St. James will improve to 6-0. A bit of a scare here tonight, but in the second half, they finally got it going. Lebeouf in pain as he comes to the sidelines. And for St. James after this week,
that's his dad right there behind him, Elmo Lebeouf, looking at him. Boy, he is in pain. Hopefully just the wind got knocked out of him.
Lutcher, they'll play Berwick next week. As Smith into the end zone, touchdown. What a second half for the Wildcats. 18-yard run as they have outscored Lutcher in the second half 23-0.
Well, turnovers in this run game. This run game of St. James, Lutcher has just not been able to handle it at all in the second half. And it's just been all Smith and Lebeouf and nothing they could do about it. Couple touchdowns on the night for Smith.
The extra point try here is good. As St. James leading their parish rival 34-13. Tonight, St. James is honoring the 1979 state championship team. More on that. Here's Kate Adams.
Look, Coach Wagasback, they are recognizing him and his Wildcats for that 1979 state championship. He's actually the only Louisiana prep coach to take 2 different teams to undefeated state championships. But what was important to him was basically motivating his players that if you put your mind to it, you can basically accomplish anything you want to. Take a look.
Believe it or not, the first year I was an assistant coach, we won a state championship. And that really told me that's what I want to do. When I became a head coach, you always dream of winning a state championship. Well, I tried to stress that when I had them under my wing, that you can be what you want to be, and you can achieve what you want to do. All you have to do is dedicate yourself to whatever career you want to be, and you will be successful.
James Wagasback passed away in July. I know he is missed greatly here at St. James. But he would be proud of how the Wildcats have played here tonight, beating their parish rivals soundly in the second half after really a rough first half. But they got themselves sorted out at halftime.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the score, you're going to think, oh, this was a rout. But really, this thing didn't open up until, you know, late towards the second half into the third quarter when St. James just decided, you know what, we're just going to smash the football. And they ran the football well, and Lutcher couldn't stop it. And they ate up most of the clock, and, you know, thus your score here.
The career record for Coach Wagasback, 231 and 145 in 32 seasons. Won a state championship with Cecilia in 1995. That 79 team for St. James, they defeated Wassman in overtime. Now, if you're wondering if there's maybe a trophy that is, whoever wins this game, the school keeps a trophy, they don't have one.
Yeah.
The two schools can't agree on what the trophy should be.
Actually, they said they can't agree on anything. So we don't even talk to each other.
So there's no trophy to be had here tonight. It's just bragging rights for the next 365.
That's right. That's right.
And in a way, I kind of like that. I'm not a big fan of all these trophies.
Yeah.
I think some of them get a little silly. Dwayne Winfield, he's going to be the future quarterback for Lutcher one day, getting a chance to run the football. Again, this kid is someone they are really excited about. Just a freshman, has a 100-yard receiving game this year. And again, only 2 other freshmen in Lutcher history have done that. Jarvis Landry and Gregory Clayton. So those are Jarvis Landry. Everybody knows who he is. Gregory Clayton was also a great wide receiver at Lutcher. So Dwayne Winfield got a.
This kid's going to be a stud.
Yes.
Man. I mean, you see, he already looks developed, you know, to be playing at this level as a freshman. But I mean, you're talking about next year, junior year, senior year. Put him on your radar.
There are a lot of good young players on this Lutcher team. Tonight was not their night. St. James Wildcats took care of business in the second half, outscoring the Bulldogs 24-0. Shamar Smith, Sean Lebeouf, and that St. James offensive line finally started getting a push. And the Wildcats run away with this one, and the #1 team in Class 3A improves to 6-0, while Lutcher falls to 2-4. We'll have our post-game activities from St. James High School when we come back. This is Game Time on Yearview, Louisiana.
Tonight's Game Time Player of the Game is brought to you by Peak Performance. At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete and everyone. Stronger, faster, better. Choose Peak. Check out the stories behind the games. Visit yearview.com/Louisiana.
I'm Brett Favre. As a quarterback in the NFL, if I didn't stay focused, I ended up on my back or worse. Even the smallest distraction could make a good play or offensive drive come to an end. When you're in a car, The smallest distraction could end much more than a drive. It could end someone's life. Just like I refuse to lose on the field, I refuse to lose someone I love to distracted driving. And you should too. Focus on the road. Don't drive distracted. A message from Farm Bureau Insurance.
Hi, we are live with the PPTV network, where one of the top athletes is about to make his important decision. We know his character, and nothing will hold him back.
I'm glad to have my family and friends here for this choice. It's more than my career. It will affect the rest of my life. I choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The decision is in. Why choose Peak?
Their reputation and their record of success is unmatched.
When it matters most, another patient chooses Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Hey, Joe Martin here. You've seen our commercials over the years, and you may be wondering, what's in it for me? Well, ITI Technical College has been selected by Forbes magazine as a top 32-year college. But even more than that, the reason we do this is you. Our tagline is for a better life, and we mean that. For you to be able to have the life you've always dreamed about, to do the things for your family you've always dreamed about. And it can begin here, where we are dedicated to your success, because here at ITI, the reason we do it is you.
You're watching Game Time on YourView. For more in-depth coverage of the top players around, recruiting updates, behind-the-scenes access, and more, check out yourview.com.
Bragging rights for the next 365 days belongs to St. James as they defeated their parish rivals here tonight, beating Lutcher 34-13. Bulldogs had a 13-10 lead at halftime, but St. James eventually got the running game going, and Sean Lebeouf was a big part of that. Great game for him, and he is our player of the game in this contest.
Yeah, Sean Lebeouf had a great game. But these coaches for St. James, they were determined in the second half that we're just going to smash the ball, run it right at Lutcher. They were able to do it all second half long between Shamar Smith and Sean Lebeouf, and really taking all that time off the clock and Lutcher's offense stalling resulted in the score you have tonight.
Well, let's take a look at the highlight package we've put together of the Navy commitment. Really nice run tonight, or nice game tonight with his patient running. Just finding the holes, making guys miss, and never easy to bring down.
No, great vision. That was great vision there, getting to the outside and getting into the end zone.
Over 100 yards tonight for Sean Lebeouf. And for the season, he's now approaching 500 yards rushing for the entire season. Let's send it down to the field and Kate Adams.
Senior running back Sean Lebeouf with me. Obviously an incredible game for you. Actually the second game this season with over 100 yards rushing. You had a touchdown tonight. Just talk about what was working for your offense.
I mean, our offensive line was blocking well. I mean, overall, we cleaned up the mistakes that we made in the first half. We started getting a push. We started to come together. Coach put up a great game plan for us to, come through and just pound the ball in. We wanted to play a physical ball game and, make a statement.
Well, you and the Wildcats are now 6-0 in the season. Big hopes to try to make another trip to the championship this year here in 2019. What does your team need to continue to do to make that dream come true?
We got to stay disciplined. Number one, on and off the field. We got to come to practice, work hard, do all the simple things. The simple things matter.
Well, they definitely do. Coach Valdez not too happy with some of the mistakes in the first half, but it looks like you guys were definitely able to clean that up in the second half. Just talk about the incredible performance by your team, both on defense and on offense.
Well, I believe that we got the best defense in the state. Offense, we got the ability, to score quick, fast. We got some mobile guys. We got some guys that can even play quarterback a little bit. We can change up a little bit.
Well, I know you've been working on your speed. You can also catch. Look, you're kind of the player that everybody wants to have. Just talk about what has been working for you to really improve.
Well, it's hard to say, but, I just go to practice every day. I work hard. I work my butt off in the classroom, on and off the field. I just try to improve myself as a person, not just as a football player.
Well, you're in your senior year. You're a commit to Navy, but obviously a wonderful fall football season for you guys. What's your favorite memory so far?
I don't have a favorite memory yet till we make it to the state championship.
Well, that will definitely be a memory you will forever have if you guys are able to make it. So good luck the remainder of the season, and congrats on the win tonight and being 6-0.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Kate. Great job down there tonight, and great running there by Sean Lebeouf. Let's take a look at our play of the game now from tonight's win for St. James. And for that, going back to pass here. Patterson looking for somewhere to go. Ball knocked around, and here comes Joe Cooper back the other way.
And everything went right for St. James on this play, but the very end, it was a great tip ball drill by Cooper. But watch at the very end, his own guy, Stibe, runs right into him and tackles him for a touchdown. That's about the only way St. James could be stopped tonight.
Was that kind of night? Pretty strong comments there by Sean Lebeouf. He thinks St. James has the best defense in the state, and they really did it in the second half for sure, shutting out the Lutcher Bulldogs. So the final score in this game, 34-13. St. James just had a tough start in this football game. I don't know if they got caught up in the emotion, maybe overlooking Lutcher a little bit. They see the Bulldogs are down 2-3. I know that's hard to say when you're playing your parish rival and your biggest rival that maybe you're not ready for the game, but I thought Lutcher was, that's for sure. But St. James, once they were able to stop the mistakes, they were not to be stopped at all in the second half.
Well, the mistakes, and remember, St. James had a chance to really throw a knockout blow early in the game with the huge kickoff return and then another interception, and they were right there in the red zone twice and only came up with 3 points. And that's what allowed Lutcher to hang around the second half. They addressed that at halftime, able to get the run game going. They get in the red zone, they started punching them in, and that's the end of the game there.
So let's take a look at our highlights from this one. A 34-13 win for the St. James Wildcats over the Lutcher Bulldogs. As St. James, Coach Robert Valdez right there taking a picture with
he's got the turnover chain on?
Yeah, he's got the turnover chain. Why not? Why not? But long night for St. James. Had to withstand a 1 hour weather delay.
All right, come back on camera. I need you guys on camera.
And they were able to, once they got through that lightning delay, and really once they got through halftime and played in the second half, they were just a much better team in the second half.
No, they really were. Just those 2 big drives right in at the start of the second half really just changed the dynamics of the game.
Alec Mahler with a field goal there gave St. James an early 3-0 lead. Lutcher really played hard in the first half. Mekhi Patterson getting into the end zone. The extra point try is blocked. 6-3. St. James coming right back. Here's Lebeouf, our player of the game. Gets a nice block there in the end. Big turnover towards the end of the first half would set up this touchdown run by Patterson. And the Bulldogs led 13-10. Another field goal coming for Alec Mahler. That would tie the game at 13, and then St. James was off and running. 2 long, draining drives on that Lutcher defense. Touchdown run there, quarterback sneak here by Shamar Smith. And then this was the play we just showed you, the interception and the return by Joe Cooper. He fell down, unfortunately, but picking him up was his quarterback, Shamar Smith, who gets into the end zone to finish off this game. And there's a look at your statistics. 264 yards, the big night from Sean Lebeouf. Each team had 2 turnovers, but look at that fourth quarter. Outscoring them in the second half, 24-0 to win this game, 34-13.
Yeah, and the other big stat was you can see Lutcher there with the big goose egg on the third and fourth quarter. No points in the second half. That's what Sean Lebeouf was talking as good as he did tonight, crediting that St. James defense, which was phenomenal in the second half.
St. James will remain the #1 team in Class 3A, and we'll see how far they go in the postseason. Be sure to, we'll take a break here, and when we come back, we're not coming back. Excuse me. We're done from St. James High School. Been a long night. Next week, we'll be in New Orleans, West Florida, taking on De La Salle. Join us for that at 7 o'clock. For Kate Adams, Jason DeClaire, I'm Jeff Palermo. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next Friday in the Big Easy.
Game Time on Your View has been brought to you by Podna's Barbecue. Slow cooked, fall off the bone perfection and the best baked beans in America. Visit Baton Rouge. It's not just the capital city, it's the hub of all things Louisiana. Find out more about all the Red Stick has to offer at visitbatonrouge.com. Monogram Express. We make ordinary gifts extraordinary. And by Louisiana Lift. At Louisiana Lift, we're always on call. Check out yourview.com for in-depth high school football coverage all season long.